welcome to Keeping It Real. How's everyone doing today? How are you doing today, Carrie?
Doing good. Getting a lot of work done. It's great when the weather's nice and dry. Get some yard work done.
It's definitely a good day to go outside and do some stuff around your house. That's for sure. It's beautiful here. Finally. I heard that we're not supposed to say that because we're supposed to say it rains all the time, so no one ever wants to come here.
That's right.
That's right.
But then that would put us out of jobs.
I know, right? That would be bad. So you guys, today we're going to talk about the homeowner's game plan. And this is like, we're going to do kind of what we did last week. I have a checklist. If you want it, send us a DM. You can get it. If you want both, then you can let me know that too. But sometimes it's great to just have something where it's like, oh, it's this time of year. I got to go out and do boom, 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 boom. And then, summer, boom, boom, and just get that stuff done because it really does help. And so today we're going to talk about some of the things that you can do to make your house keep its value. Because, right, that's probably one of the biggest one is if you're maintaining your home, when it comes time to sell, you don't have like this huge, checklist of all the stuff you have to do because you've been neglecting it. And so it's not that bad. I mean, it's like, it's not going to cost you a lot. It's just making sure things are working the way they're supposed to be. So, all right, let's get to it. You ready here?
I am.
All right. So welcome to Keeping It Real with Nikki and Carrie. And we're going to give you some ideas on how to save money because when you're maintaining your home and you're doing that, it helps prevent costly repairs later. And also it just kind of keeps your home in great shape. So here we go. And why it matters, obviously we just talked about the helping with or avoiding the costly repairs. It also keeps your family safe and healthy because you're looking out and making sure that some of the stuff is done that needs to be done. And it protects your investment. So really good reasons on why you should do this. All right. All right. Carrie, you want to handle the monthly to-dos?
Yes. And these are so important. People don't realize it, but it's really important to change your filters in your house. We're talking about the safety of your family, but also I know some of my children suffer from allergies. So changing those filters and everything really helps keep the whatever little things in the air.
We have so many trees and pollens. Yes.
Yeah. And make sure to test those smoke detectors. You never know when you're going to need it. Oh, sorry.
Okay. And then we can check for leaks under the sink, and this is an easy one to do because, like sometimes it's just like a little tiny, a little drop in it might be like, and you kind of, but it gets your attention. So watch it. And usually you see right at the sink. So like if you go to stick your hand in there and it's damp for some reason, it's so much better to get that solved right then and there than it is to wait when you have, a water issue that's creating a lot of mold and not a good thing. Some other simple things to do are testing your light bulbs and your fixtures and making sure that, you don't have any wires sticking out or whatever. Cleaning your range hood filter. And Carrie, you can handle the last one.
Make sure you look at your utility bills for any sudden spikes because it could mean that there's water. That goes hand in hand with something leaking, right? Absolutely. Or if something shorted out in your house, it could be an electrical issue. So you want to definitely make sure that your bills aren't spiking for any particular reason.
Okay. And so this is kind of going with the temperature here in Washington because spring usually, we've had a bunch of windstorms in the winter and it's like you've got stuff all over your yard a lot of times. So this is kind of a good thing to do, especially in this area for spring and summer, and it's checking those gutters. And you're going to see this one pop up on a couple slides because we always get windstorms here and it's like, you got to keep it on your roof. And that's probably one of the most number one things that people don't do that they should do.
And just for most homes up here, there's a lot of shaded areas because of the humongous trees that we have. And so I know that the roof starts to accumulate a lot of moss. And so getting that treated will help to make your life of your roofing a lot longer if you're taking care of that and removing the moss.
And Roofing 101, do not use a pressure washer on your composite roof. I just had somebody tell me that they did that the other day. And I went, oh God, no, don't do that. Okay, so go get a baking soda from Costco, seriously, and put it all over the roof. It'll kill all your moss and then you brush it off and it works so much better. And it saves your roof and doesn't cause a lot of issues. Okay, continue, Carrie.
So make sure, once again, you service that air conditioner before the heat kicks in. Nothing's worse than getting into the heat, or even in the winter, getting into those cold months and not having your HVAC system work. You don't want to be overly hot. You don't want to be too cold. So make sure you get that serviced.
Yep. Washing those windows and screens is always a good thing. I mean, again, it gets rid of that dust. It's just kind of that barrier, and it keeps everything nice and fresh, and so you can see out. Make sure your seals are also sealed. So sometimes, like especially in the winter, like you're running that heater and you've got humidity in your house, and if the seal's broken, you end up getting some moisture in between your windows. It's a good time to get that taken care of too. If you need to replace some glass,
Definitely.
deep cleaning. Yeah, right. I think I'm going to plan a vacation every year during this time so my husband can do that. No, you got to do that. Get it done. So then you can enjoy your house in the summer, right?
Yes, because most people entertain. It's
Absolutely.
a great time to have people over inside and outside. So deep clean the house, and that way you feel comfortable having people over.
Yeah. And this is where you want to open the windows and a little fresh air in and just love it. So
yes.
Prepping your garden, your lawn, and checking your sprinkler system because, it's cold out. The ground gets hot or expands and whatever I'm trying to say. It expands and it gets bigger and smaller. There we go. And it changes and moves and stuff like that. So you never know what's going to happen. I know I've got one I need to fix this year. So there you go. All right. Summer. It's going to be nice and hot out now. I mean, we're hitting some 80s and 90s. It's been absolutely amazing. Check inspect and check those seals around your patio. I mean, sometimes you have stuff like around the patio that you got to make sure things aren't getting into like underneath or whatever in your house. And making sure that there's no entry points into your home. It's always a good time because it's dry and you climb around the ground and not get wet. So it's a good time to do that. And while you're down there checking for your patio and making sure there's no holes, check for pests. I mean, it's pretty you telltale signs that they're there. And if you do, I mean, here in the Pacific Northwest, they're here. So, again, it's getting that taken care of. Kara, I'll let you take the next one.
I'm glad because cleaning out your dryer vent's a good thing. And it was funny because I saw a video where this person came and they used their leaf blower to actually clean out their vent from the inside. Oh. So they just used it inside the house, got it going. And because I don't know about you, but my house has got a daylight basement. And so it's basically on the second level that it goes down. So I have a lot of tubing that all that stuff has to go down through. So it's great just to be able to take that leaf blower and just get it to clean out that entire thing. Because if you have too much buildup in there, it is definitely a fire hazard. Yeah. So you want to make sure you're keeping your family safe that way.
Absolutely. And you know what? I never knew that. And I'm going to try that because it sounds great. And I don't have to stick my hand in there trying to get it out. And checking weather stripping on your windows and doors too, because again, it's nice. You're dry. You can go in, and if you need to do some caulking and stuff like that, you can make sure things are sealed. It helps prevent those winter drafts that sneak in on the winter. So it's just making sure everything's done. And then pruning trees and shrubs and keep them away from the house because, if you go to do a home inspection, you're selling your house, they're going to say they don't want that wood or plant to wood contact against your house. So they're going to tell you to cut it anyway. It's not good to have it there. It wrecks your house. It creates other issues. It gets bugs, it gets animals, it gets all kinds of stuff. You just don't want them touching your house. So get that stuff away from it. A great time to do outside and do some yard work. Right.
Yeah. And, going back to what you were saying at the beginning is that we have a lot of windstorms up here. So if there are any dead branches or anything like that, the branches easily come off because of how powerful the wind gets. And that could potentially do damage to your roof, to fencing, anything. So just make sure you're out there maintaining your trees and getting rid of all those dead branches.
Yes. It's a great time to call my son and have him do a yard cleanup for you.
Yes.
Greater approach. There you go. Give him a little shout out today. All right. Fall. Again, you know what? The weather's not too bad here. I mean, sometimes we get really blessed and it's like in October. And I mean, I was actually kayaking a couple of years ago in October and it was warm. It was beautiful. So there are a lot of days still that you can get outside before the really wet stuff hits. And again, you know what? Get those gutters cleaned out because you know what? In fall, the leaves start falling off and all the pine needles start falling off and your gutters get completely packed full of junk and you don't want it there. So it's a great time to get somebody out there to do that again.
Yes, we wound up investing in the ones that are similar to Leaf Guard. So all we have to do is just blow them off. It's wonderful. And that way you don't get those backed up clogged gutters.
Yeah, right now I got kids, but they're all moving out except for one. So
you can actually sell ones that can just attach to your current system. that just really helps to keep that debris outside of the gutters, which is really nice.
Good to know. All right, winter sprinkler system or winterizer sprinkler system. You know what? I mean, I would say probably don't do that like early in the fall, but towards late fall, like September, October, and stuff, before the rains and stuff all start coming. Get outside, make sure that that's protected, sealed, make sure it's not going to blow up and have a big water. I had a friend whose house, her pipe burst, and it was not fun. I mean, it went all over her house. It was caused damage. So just make sure that that it's protected. You take care of it. You're doing what you're supposed to do. All right. Schedule your furnace checkup. It's not cold yet, but it's going to get cold. It gets cold here. So get it done.
And guess what? If someone else's is broken, you're going to have a long wait because lots of people will be needing work on theirs. So if you do it earlier, then you can plan it out and not be in a desperate situation.
Right. And it never fails too. It's like, okay, we're just going to go around. I know we've done this before. We're just going to do our stuff. And then we go turn on and it's like, uh-oh. Thankfully, a lot of places, homes here in the Pacific Northwest have multiple heating sources, like they're wood or they'll have natural gas or they'll have electric. So if one of them goes, there's usually something else, but I was get it checked out. All right. Check insulation around your windows and your seals and stuff. Make sure that everything's sealed up for the winter. Your doors, there's no gaps and stuff in your doors. You don't want to have all those cold breezes coming in and making your heat bills go up. It's not something fun to do. It gets really expensive to have your electric bill in the wintertime and you're doing air conditioning. So you don't want those holes. You really want to be on top of that. And I mean, it doesn't take that long. Maybe like you're going to spend a weekend doing some of this stuff kind of thing, but it's definitely will save you money as far as your bills and, making sure your home's secure and things aren't getting in and doing things they're not supposed to be doing. And I like the last one.
Yeah. Get stuff up on those
Nebraska, and I'm like, where's a shovel? We don't have a shovel. I'm like, are you kidding me? How do we not have a shovel? Bro, I'm like, oh my God, we need a shovel. Hello. Make sure you get your supplies ready, and even I would even add have an emergency kit to this, just because sometimes there's power goes out and you need candles or you need light or, lighters or whatever. I would just have a thing kind of put together and I would pretend that I would just do it that way.
Yeah, because we know with those winds that the power often goes out because it knocks down all of our electrical cables are up above ground. And so if a tree, that's what I was meaning to say. So if a tree falls down on a branch or a branch falls down on one of those power lines, it could knock out the power in entire neighborhoods. And we've gone as many as 2 days without power. So it's important to have those candles and have those heat sources and everything else as a backup. And it's like the apocalypse, right? Or during COVID, how people were hoarding toilet paper. I feel like when anything like that happens, people just go to the store in droves and just buy up everything. So if you go ahead of time, you're not worried about the supply. It will be there and ready for you.
And I'm sorry we missed Amazon Day because I bought the coolest light for my kayak a couple of years ago. Ooh. And it's an inflatable one, so you blow it up so it floats, which is why I got it. But it's solar powered. So you can keep them solar powered, but I want to buy a whole bunch of them for that reason, because it's like you just put them outside, charge them during the day and bring them in at night and you got light and they're bright. So I think they're like $24 for 2 of them or something on Amazon. But,
nice.
But they're not going to fall over if they're, if you take them outside or something, they're not going to fall over and start a fire either. So that was kind of cool. So, or if you have young kids, another option. Okay. Winter checklist. Here we go. We're in the winter now. We have you get these foam things and you put them over your water faucets outside. It's a smart thing to do, because seriously, if a pipe bursts, it's expensive, you guys. You don't want that to happen. So make sure those are covered and sealed and kept warm. Make sure the hoses are put away. Don't leave the hoses out. That's really dumb too. Don't do that. Put them away for the season. You're not going to use them. So make sure you're prepared for that winter stuff. Go ahead, Carrie.
This goes hand in hand with checking the filters. Check that heating system, because when heat is going through and you have a dirty filter with a lot of buildup, that's also another fire hazard. So definitely make sure that you're testing it, that it's operating at its best too, because that could prevent you from having higher bills as well.
Yeah, and they're expensive here. I just saw all of our rates, all of them, the marriage certificates and all the license rates, all that's going up by not It was like 18 to $300, Carrie. You gotta, I'll send
Woo!
it to you. Yeah, no, we gotta talk about maybe that coming up here. It was insane.
Yes.
Real estate stuff's on there too, so be prepared. It's going up.
Yeah.
All right, check your garage doors and seals and make sure, you know what I mean? Like your garage doors are kind of colder. A lot of people don't have them insulated. And sometimes they are, and that helps it. But, you know, you don't want gaps. You don't want the sealed bottom to be all cracked and broken and stuff. You want to make sure it's sealed, especially if it's to your house, because it makes your house cold. And if you're,
It does.
and if you have a room above, like the garage, it gets really cold. So,
Oh, absolutely. And one thing too, you talked about rodents in this area. That's the best time of year to make sure everything's sealed up, because that's the time of year all of those little guys are trying to look for warmer places. So, and also another little tip for that, I don't know if you guys know, but if you use pure peppermint oil and put it around any entrances like that or on your shelving to keep food, it actually is a deterrent for mice and
okay.
spiders.
And I heard eucalyptus is a deterrent for spiders.
Yes, and the peppermint works for spiders too as well. So it's kind of cool. It's got a dual purpose.
Okay, perfect. Good to know. Okay, and then look for moistures around the window. I mean, again, a lot of times, I remember so many houses I go into, and it's like it's just nice and snuggly and warm and stuff like this, and it's a lot of humid, but you can see like there's like moistures and stuff, and then eventually you're gonna start getting some black mold and stuff like that around your windows. And I don't know if it's technically black mold, I mean, whatever, but it's like it's definitely mold coming on from like the moisture being inside and warming up and stuff. Make sure you're wiping those off and taking care of that stuff and getting those seals taken care of so you don't have mold issues. Because I have been in several houses that were like, I mean, it was going to be a huge expense to get rid of all that, because once you get it started, it just kind of keeps going. All right. We're almost at bonus tips, you guys. Set your reminder on your calendars to take care of this. And it might be like you look ahead the year and you say, okay, I don't have anything this weekend, that weekend, you know what I mean? Or like every quarter you remind yourself, like set the next quarter kind of thing. But make sure you get this on your calendar and do this. They're not that long. They're not that hard. They're not that expensive for the most part usually, but it's going to help your house. And then what the other thing I suggest too is taking a running list of home improvements. And I know when I work with clients and stuff like that, especially if they're going to sell their home, you know, it's like I like to have that list, because I can go to buyers and say, hey, look, this is what we've done. I've got all the receipts. I've got, you know, I mean, I can show you, or, you know, I can say that they've done this and they fixed this and they've done this. And it's good to have, you can also give it to an appraiser and saying these are the work. And so the value will be considered, at least at that point, of the work that you've done. So, I mean, if the fireplace had a crack in it and you noticed that while you're up cleaning your roof or something, you got that fixed. Good to know. It's not going to cost the new homeowner coming in to fix that.
And it's great at open houses, because most people come through and there's a lot of things that they look at, but there's a few key things that they want to know about. When was the roof placed on the house? They want to know how new or old it is, because that's a huge expense. So people want to know the age of it. So make sure you know that. And also, like when you come to upgrades, they'll want to know when the heating system was put in, or the water heater, because those are also things, right? Those are also things that are very expensive, and they want to make sure that they have a good lifetime left on those items.
And sometimes, you know what, a lot of times what I find too, it's not always necessarily new, but it's that it's been happening. It's kind of like your septic system, for instance, right? If you don't take care of your septic system, you're probably going to have a lot of issues with it. If you move into a home that somebody's been like, you know, inspecting it every 2 or 3 years like they're supposed to, and getting it pumped when they needed to, and, you know, if there was a deficiency, they corrected it right away so it wasn't an issue, you're probably going to have less likely of a chance to have issues with it, versus somebody who's put off all that maintenance and then try to fix it look really nice right before you sell it. So the love that you give your home, you want to be able to express in that home improvement thing. And the other one, which I actually had to do some more research on this one, but was taking pictures. And so I know Carrie's in a kind of in a hurry today, but I'm going to go really quick through this because I thought it was a fabulous idea. And I would actually just take it and maybe keep them in a file folder, which is home improvements or something where you have that. But The reason you should do this is because if you ever do have like a pipe burst or something like that and it destroys stuff, you've got pictures of what was in your house and what was there. So it helps with insurance issues if something happens, or if you had just like, installed like a patio, like right before the storm hit and the storm came and hit your house, you have those pictures to show that you just installed something. So it would be better. Also, like I know recently I was gone in Nebraska and I came home and we had these cement like slabs like out like a patio outside my back door. And I knew it was kind of like doing, kind of one of these. But the thing is that when I came home, it was more like, whoa, it was a bigger stuff. So obviously something that we need to do, but if we had taken pictures of that, we would have had a very clear visual of what that looked like. So definitely getting those pictures to help spot problems earlier. Even if your roof and stuff like that, a lot of times if you like, you look at it and it's like, oh, it doesn't look too bad this year, you snap a picture and then next year you go out and we've had a bunch of rain and all of a sudden you see this big gap, you can tell there's something going on. It also helps when you have to hire contractors because then they have a visual of exactly before they even come out. Oh, this is what's going on with your house. I can totally see that. It's like your roof line's going like this, whereas last year it was like this. So there's something going on in this section. So it gives them some help. And I don't know about everybody else, but I'm getting old. I keep telling me I'm getting old, closer to 60 than I am 50 anymore. But, your memory just isn't what you think it is. Or like, I know, I was talking to Ken about this and it was like, when did we do that? Work on that? I don't know. Oh, well, I know we did it. Was it, were the kids still here? I mean, like, which kids were here in the house?
That's right. The years just blend together. So you use certain points in your life to kind of remember when that happened, right?
And when you get old, sometimes you just don't remember.
Yep.
So this kind of gives you a visual and an order of a chronological order of what's happening, especially if you keep them like per year and you just, when you're out doing that stuff, you're just kind of snap pictures. And I think it's a great idea. So I would highly encourage that. I know that that's something I'm going to implement in my life. So
I love it.
All right. So this is what we talked about, you guys, at the beginning of the thing. If you would like this checklist to have, you can keep it in a book. You can keep it on your computer, however you want to use it, but you can check off what's going on. You got our phone numbers right there. Send us a DM or, give us a call, whatever. I like to hear from people. So if you call me, I'd be happy. I'd like to talk.
I'm the same.
Send us a text, DM us on social media, whatever it works for you the best. We'd love to send you that. So you have that. Carrie, is there anything I did not add that you wanted to add to this?
No, you were so thorough, but there was something exciting that happened to your family over the weekend, wasn't there?
Oh, yes.
Exciting but scary at the same time.
I did not cry. Yes, my son, not only did he turn 18 yesterday, but he also joined the Marines. So, yes.
Very excited for him. And I can say as a Marine mom and the spouse of a Marine as well, it's a little bit scary, but at the same time, it'll give you a little bit different meaning when the national anthem is played or you give a pledge of allegiance, because you know that your child is out there supporting our country and making it what it is today. And so it just gives you a different sense of pride than you've ever had before. And I'm always here if you need anything.
I'm very proud of him. And like I said, I fought it tooth and nails the whole time, like this whole last year since I've been home. It's like I could talk about it, but he's set on it. I have to support him with, what his life ambitions are. So, but yeah, it is hard on a mommy's heart, but I support it. Yes. So proud of him. All right.
Congratulations, Taven.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next time. Same place, same time. Have fun, and we'll talk to you then.